Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Road to Disclosure. I'm your host, David. Wanted to do a quick episode on some of the geopolitical um, happenings throughout the world this week, and kind of what I'm seeing as potential false flags. The main stuff, so this beginning of the week we had the start, I guess Sunday was the spring equinox, and these particular holidays or periods during the year that are significant to people that practice in like occult religions. They start off neutral, but you have light and dark forces that try to take advantage of these days, the energies themselves. So with the start of the spring equinox, at least for the northern hemisphere, you have it starts in terms of like the dark occult world. It starts the season of sacrifice, and I kind of go into well, so this is Ben Fulford's website, his March 21st newsletter. It doesn't really go into anything like that. I just wanted to kind of bring it up. He's suggesting it marks a turning point in the battle to liberate Earth. He goes through some of his updates. There was, I mean, a lot of good stuff of significance. Obviously, a lot of stuff regarding what's going on in Ukraine. The only thing I think I wanted to show you, I mean, there's a burning here of an effigy of the Tower of Babel. This is in Russia, purportedly. I'm not going to show that. And there was something at a Walmart, burning of a Walmart. You can see a lot of the fake news of dead bodies being shown through mainstream media, fake media. This was kind of funny too. You have Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, who's an actor. This is just an example of CGI. um, Biden walking across. Anyway, I wanted to go real quick to Stillness in the Storm. They've done articles pretty much every year around the time of March to acknowledge the dark occult significance of the season of sacrifice, which is roughly a 40-day period. You guys, I'll leave this in the description. But you can see, he goes into explaining, obviously, false flags, which is the term used by researchers of geopolitical events to refer to covert operations or psychological warfare tactics used by governments and other ABC intelligence agencies to steer political opinion, start wars, force change in society. So there's a lot here. You guys can actually go through yourselves. Some of the stuff I wanted to show was really the dates of that he goes into prior sacrifices that occurred. I just want to kind of give you guys a glimpse of the types of things that kind of occur. Okay, so yeah, so we just had March 22nd, so that's obviously Skull and Bones Society. Their favorite number is 322, so March 22nd would be symbolic of that occult holiday as well. I thought it was around here. Here we go. Season of Sacrifice, blood rituals, and dates. You can see a bunch of different things occurred during that, roughly 40-day period. Battle of Lexington and Concord, Baltimore riots, sinking of the Titanic, assassination of Martin Luther King, Waco massacre, Oklahoma City bombing, Australia massacre, Heaven's Gate cult suicides, another massacre in Arkansas, Columbine shooting, Iraq war, shock and awe bombings, Virginia Tech massacre, Moscow metro bombings, BP oil spill, Libya invaded, Boston Marathon bombing. So you can see there's quite a few occurrences of what the elites would utilize in terms of sacrifice. And there's probably a lot more out there, but this is just an example of like a dozen. So the talk of the town right now is, we'll go to U.S. Space Force kind of tweeted this. I want to say, what was it, 21st. So it says, if our satellites stopped working, you wouldn't be able to pull money out of ATMs. Talk about a major bag alert. So while you're cashing in those winnings from March Madness bets, think of us. This is just whether this is like predictive programming, and I wanted to go into that term as well. But right now there's talk about Russia enacting some level of cyber warfare, cyber strike on U.S. Critical infrastructure. So there's a few different articles. This one's Ars Technica with the U.S. Deputy National Security Advisor for Cyber and Emerging Technology, Ann Neuberger. She spoke at a press conference at the White House March 21st. I'm going to show you actually that clip. There's another article associated with FBI Director Christopher Wray, speaking on Tuesday, concerned about the possibility of a Russian cyber attack. So you guys can actually look at some of this too. He's suggesting most cyber attacks don't just happen in an instant. There's activity that leads up to it. The research of the victim or the facility scanning for the vulnerabilities and symptoms and systems. That's what he suggests is happening, that the intelligence agencies are recognizing this type of preparatory work. The irony is the United States does more cyber attacks, conducts more cyber attacks than China, but the U.S. Definitely trumps all of the, whether it's Russia, China, those countries that actually interfere with infrastructures in different parts of the country, different countries like the United States. One of the things, all right, so real quick, just going to predictive programming, so everyone kind of has an understanding of what the term is. When they showcase what they're going to do ahead of time, it's a form of like psychological manipulation in that sense. Predictive programming, this from rationalwiki.org had a good definition I found. It's a recurring element across many conspiracy theories. The claim is that when conspirators plan a false flag operation, false flag obviously being when they blame somebody else for an attack, even if, and people obviously, 9/11 would be the quintessential false flag where people die, even if it's blamed on someone else. So they hide references to it in popular media, as obviously that happened with 9/11. Before the atrocity takes place, when the event occurs, the public has softened up and therefore passively accepts it rather than offering resistance or opposition. So that was a good definition of that. I thought there was another one I wanted to bring up, but so I'm going to show some of the. Okay, so there's a lot of talk now about the New World Order. So why would the U.S. media and U.S. government be trying to suggest Russia is planning some kind of false flag? What have you guys been seeing in the news that's significant enough to cause a distraction or, pull people's attention elsewhere? Clearly, the Hunter Biden laptop is back in, and I believe I did a post on that on Instagram. But you can see, and the fact that people like President Brandon have been speaking openly about complying with the idea of like New World Order agenda. You can see in this article from Stillness and Storm a couple of years ago, Putin has called out the New World Order multiple times, and he acknowledges they worship Satan. So this is just one example of like who's really speaking the truth. Someone who actually calls out the New World Order, who obviously is associated with world, domination of the world population. There's actually a great book, my favorite book, Rule by Secrecy by Jim Marrs. He actually kind of goes into the definition of where New World Order, I think, stemmed from. The term, I'm not exactly sure where it actually originated. I thought it originated with the book Tragedy and Hope by Quigley, Carol Quigley, but I'm not sure. But Jim Marrs acknowledges in this, he goes, many people today believe that the small group of men and women, along with friends and associates, not only manipulate many of the major world issues, but also control tax-exempt foundations. These people connect with each other through a variety of means: international business and politics, conferences, social gatherings, foundations, etc., and therefore constitute a cohesive group. This group has been called many names, including New World Order, Committee of 300, Illuminati, Secret Brotherhood, or often simply just they. More than one author even suggests that these persons are themselves guided or controlled by non-human intelligences described as custodians. So that kind Obviously, I could go into more into that, but just acknowledging someone like Biden, and people like George Soros of the world, the Henry Kissinger's, they all kind of Bush seniors renowned for talking about the New World Order. So all the talk about a New World Order is kind of bringing up the idea that something big is going to happen. In addition to the fact that the cabal is scared that a lot of evidence of their illegal doings and their dark activities are coming to light. So a lot of people are predicting sometime either this week or next that we would see some kind of false flag involving some kind of cybersecurity issue. So this is my Telegram account. I save articles and such. So I just wanted to kind of go through. So obviously the big thing, Hunter Biden's laptop, where mainstream media back during the election cycle, they were talking about how it was Russian disinformation, and clearly that has been disproven. So there was a couple of things that I wanted to present. One of the things, Russia using advanced tech. They were using, I don't know if you guys saw the hypersonic missiles in the Ukraine. That was a pretty substantial story that I didn't see really covered all that much. But using this kind of advanced weaponry, the Nazis controlling Ukraine don't, as far as I understand, do not have the weaponry to mitigate that kind of firepower. So the facts that they're suggesting that Ukraine are actually holding the Russians back, I think is obviously BS. You guys can think what you like in that sense. You got pictures. You have the actor, president of Ukraine, Vladimir Zelensky. You can see some of the nonsense that he's been involved in before. I mean, you have an actor running an actor being president of a country that's renowned for corruption. Says a lot. This was a good video by this Russian athlete, Mariana Nemova. Her response to Arnold Schwarzenegger's propaganda video. This was good. I might actually post this at another time, but if you guys actually check it out, I don't know if you guys have Telegram, but it was a good video she did, 6 minutes of. You can see this was the original speech from Vladimir Putin, Empire of Lies, where he acknowledges the reason for going into Ukraine, that it's not an invasion. Clearly, it's not an invasion. Obviously, he was countering the NATO expansion, where they were actually... there was attacks over the last 8 years into different parts of the Ukraine by these Nazis to kill off a lot of the Russian population in the Donbass region. So that was part of the reason Putin obviously went in to protect those areas. And anybody who actually listens to him, he's clearly not trying to conquer the Ukraine, regardless of what you hear on mainstream media. All right, so going down here, just acknowledging that something is definitely up, something's definitely gearing up to occur. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on. I'm not even going to cover everything. This was an interesting post. You can see Zelensky warns of Russian cyber attacks, altering Ukrainian browsers' history. He's quoted as saying they can make it seem like you are visiting gay pornographic websites. Be vigilant. And then Biden saying something about that with obviously the Hunter Biden laptop making the rounds in the mainstream media. Even he goes, I bet everybody knows somebody somewhere along the line that in an intimate relationship, what happened was the guy takes a revealing picture of his naked friend or whatever in a compromised position and then blackmails that person. So you can tell the Hunter Biden laptop's getting ready to make its debut. At least the information pertaining to it, and from my intel suggests that Hunter Biden was obviously involved in crimes against children. And then the fact that you have a bunch of different politicians and VIPs contracting COVID. Says, what are the chances of Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, Klaus Schwab, and Jen Psaki testing positive on the same day? Plus you have like 10 other congressional individuals. A lot of people are just testing positive. And word on the street is that testing positive for COVID generally means that someone's either taken into custody or something occurs with them. So it's code for something besides testing positive, if they even did test positive. So here's the government representative talking about the potential for cyber attack.
To shore up their defenses against potential cyber attacks. We've previously warned about the potential for Russia to conduct cyber attacks against the United States, including as a response to the unprecedented economic costs that the U.S. and allies and partners impose in response to Russia's further invasion of Ukraine. Today, we are reiterating those warnings, and we're doing so based on evolving threat intelligence that the Russian government is exploring options for potential cyber attacks on critical infrastructure in the United States.
So clearly they're trying to blame Russia for for whatever's going to ensue in the next, let's say, week or two. There's a lot of stuff going on with the economy. The U.S. dollar is going to collapse sooner than later. No one knows specifically when, but yeah, a lot of different things going on in the world. I just wanted to bring it to your attention in terms of, let's say, any kind of cyber attack, whether it's a false flag or otherwise. This is the reason why people like myself tell people, suggest people to have 2 to 3 weeks of supplies on hand just in case something like this occurs. More than likely anything like this happens and the alliance would have the situation under control. This could usher in the activation of the emergency broadcast system, where information is relayed to the public directly without mainstream media stopping it, trying to prevent the information from being spread. So the Cabal would obviously try to intervene, but my understanding is the Cabal minions are pretty much being rounded up, and you can see how desperate they are by some of the things they're doing, and the fact that mainstream media is reporting on certain things and trying to spin things before news hits the general public of a lot of the dark legal activity that's been ongoing. So wanted to just give you guys a quick update. Hopefully that wasn't too long. So thanks for watching, and I'll be in touch.